This is the Volkswagen Golf R Estate, the family-friendly version of the popular Golf R hot hatch. That means it's got 320 horsepower performance, four-wheel drive grip, and a massive boot. A winning recipe, surely. It's pretty easy to spot a Volkswagen Golf R in its trademark lapis blue metallic, but you can also get it in black and white. In fact, the only free colour is white. Fortunately, if you don't want to shell out £825 for paint, the neighbours will still be able to tell you've got the sporty Golf estate, thanks to the deep front chin spoilers, silver door mirror caps, gloss back rear diffuser and quad exhaust pipes. It also rides 20mm lower than the regular Golf estate for a more sporty stance. If you're in the market for a fast estate rather than just a fast Golf, then you'll want to know about boot space, and here the Golf delivers. It's a great shape, it's got virtually no load lip, so it's easy to get stuff in and out, and it's big. It's got 611 litres of space rather than the 340 you'll find in the boot of the Golf R hatch. In fact, it's got the biggest boot of any Volkswagen R model, bar the massive Touareg SUV. The Tiguan R gets 520 litres and the Arteon R Shooting Brake 594 litres. There's more good news for seekers of space in the rear seats. In technical terms, there's 3.8 centimetres of extra legroom, which might not sound like much, but if you're tall, you'll notice the difference. And if you're having to haul baby seats in and out, it will also be very helpful. The slightly recessed seats with faux suede cloth also offer a lot more lateral support than the bench-like rear seats of many family estates, which is a good thing considering the cornering forces this car can generate. Up front, the seats are better than those in the rear. There's no electrical adjustment and there is limited lumbar support, however they are comfortable. And you can move them into the perfect or almost the perfect driving position, and there's plenty of adjustment in the steering wheel for reach and brake. The dashboard, meanwhile, looks swish and minimalist while offering all the goodies you'd expect, including 30-colour ambient lighting, 3-zone climate control, adaptive cruise control, the full suite of automatic emergency braking aids, and a 10-inch customisable digital driver's display. There's also a smart 10-inch touchscreen which has wired Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay, plus a built-in sat-nav. Trouble is, it's all controlled via touchscreen or touch-sensitive pads, which can be a bit of a faff, and the way the menus and sub-menus themselves are arranged is not that intuitive. Also, the materials below the air vents are drab-looking, scratchy and brittle, which could be forgiven in a £30,000 basic Golf, but in one like this that costs about £50,000, it's a bit of a disappointment. What isn't a disappointment though is how it drives, and we're about to find out. Despite its optional 19-inch wheels, this Golf R Estate rides impressively smooth on urban roads. It's firm but doesn't thump unduly through potholes. Mind you, that's probably partly a consequence of the dynamic chassis control, an £840 option that allows you to set the suspension up to be softer for town driving or firmer if you're feeling more sporty. The 7-speed twin-clutch automatic gearbox is impressively smooth, and it doesn't hesitate when pulling out of junctions. Previous versions of this automatic gearbox did do that, and it was a little disconcerting. When you leave town and find a clear piece of open road, the Golf can deliver real thump in the chest acceleration. Officially, it'll do 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, but it feels a bit quicker than that. And the power doesn't tail off at 60 miles per hour either. Also, the snappy responses of the gearbox means that all that punch is only ever a flick of a steering wheel paddle away. Should you find some interesting corners, then the Golf R Estate is ready for you. It's got 4-wheel drive and something called XDS, which has an electronic differential lock and performance torque vectoring, which can send power to the front wheels and the back wheels, and whichever side has more grip. And what this essentially does is make the relatively porky Golf feel quite agile. It really works too. This is not a small car, yet it changes direction with the sort of agility you'd expect of something much lighter. While it delivers so much grip that if the front wheels weren't impressively supportive, you'd have to hang on to the steering wheel round bends. If you want, you can spend an extra £2,000 on a performance pack, and that raises the top speed from 155 miles per hour to 166 miles per hour. Those speeds are limited. And it also gives you a drift mode, and what that enables you to do is power slides. All this sounds great, but not very usable on UK roads. What is more interesting and usable though is the fact that this is the first Golf R estate that you can tow with. It has a limit of 1900 kilograms, and we think that is the most interesting way to tow a caravan. If it was me, I would probably tow a Caterham on a trailer and take it to a track for some fun. Oh, and while we're talking of practicalities, if you need a car that sips fuel, this probably isn't the model for you. Officially, it's capable of 36 miles per gallon, which we have achieved, but drive with a little enthusiasm and you'll be seeing figures close to 25 mpg. Okay, let's get one thing crystal clear. The Volkswagen Golf R is a fab car. It's fast, it's fun to drive, and the boot is big enough for it to be great family transport. Problem is, the interior quality and usability is just not quite as good as the Mark 7 it replaces. And its price is perilously close to the faster and classier Audi RS3 Sportback and BMW 340i Touring, especially if you're looking at monthly finance payments. If the slick looks of the minimalist touchscreen interior mean you can forgive the fiddly usability of it, then happy days. But unless you really need the extra boot space, the Tiguan R SUV or Arteon R shooting brake might prove more satisfying options. What do you think? Let us know in the comments, and if you're considering buying a used example or indeed any car, head to cargurus.co.uk to find lots of great deals from top-rated dealers, including approved used examples.